Pathway Boxing. Let's get him out here. Introducing first, fighting out of the red corner from the Ringfit Training Centre. Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome Tyson Andrews.
You're just too good to be true. Can't take my eyes off of you. You'd be like heaven to touch. I wanna hold you so much. At long last, love has arrived, and I thank God I'm alive. You're just too good to be true. Can't take my eyes off you. Pardon the way that I stare. There's nothing else to compare. The sight of you.
All right. Tyson Andrews, here we go.
Tyson Dancing Dean Andrews.
Dancing Dean, the Dancing Dean. And we're going to see some dancing here today.
He's making his professional debut. Always a big shock when you're making a professional. Can you remember your professional debut, Billy?
Yeah, I remember my professional debut, 2022. Justice Hooney versus Kiki Lutelli undercard at the Nissan Arena in Brisbane.
Amazing.
All right, bullbags, how are we doing?
Billy getting the... A lot of people want to say hello to you, Billy.
How's the atmosphere now? Look at this. Look, check it out, guys. Check it out. Check out the stands. This is amazing.
Good old Perth turning up.
Yes, 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 yes.
A very confident ring walk for a debut, that's for sure.
Yes, it was, wasn't it? It really was.
I think we're already seeing a little bit of dancing from Tyson already tonight.
But yeah, going back to you guys' first professional fights,
And
how are the feelings coming in?
Fighting out of the blue corner, he's trained at Pinky's Gym. Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome Mitch Arnold.
Sorry, nearly cut CJ off there.
First thing I noticed when I was making my professional debut was, well, after having like near 200 fights in the amateur, was I'm fine without a t-shirt on now.
So,
completely naked up there.
Going back to first pro fight, I think mine was on Danny Green undercard as well, and I was absolutely crapping myself. You know, we were at Challenge Stadium, Danny Green's fighting on there, and I've had a lot of fights. All right, we're going to throw the sponsors video. Let's go.
Brings freshness, youth. What excites me the most is the little bit the element of the unknown. I am Paul Stockton. I'm from Sports Max Agencies, who are based in Balcatta. We represent Everlast exclusively right throughout Western Australia and have been doing so for quite some time. Naturally, we want to be aligned with like-minded people and great companies. The guys came to us with a concept. We got along well from the get-go. We can see how focused and determined they are to make this a successful event, and it just felt like a nice, natural fit. The Everlast brand values are all about authenticity, individuality, dedication, and strength. You can see how focused and determined Pathway Boxing is to be one of the premier boxing promotions in Western Australia. So we really want to support that, get behind the guys, and yeah, make every post a winner. A new promotion like Pathway Boxing brings freshness, youth. There's a good blend of experience with Ryan and James. What excites me the most is the little bit the element of the unknown. Amateurs, pros, some of our athletes to be involved. Yeah, I'm excited to see them bring a bit of a different concept to the big stage, and we definitely want to be a part of that. Just get along and stay tuned.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, it's time for bout one of the pro card here at Pathway Boxing, coming to you live from the RAC Arena in Perth, Western Australia. This bout is 4 by 3 minute rounds, contested at 69.9 kilograms in the Super Welterweight division. proudly brought to you by Everlast. Introducing first, fighting out of the red corner. He's trained by Dan Rogers from the Ringfit Training Centre. He stands at 178 centimetres and weighs in at 68.88 kilograms, making his debut fighting out of Perth, Western Australia. Ladies and gentlemen, this is Tyson Dancing Dean Andrews. And his opponent, fighting out of the blue corner. He is trained by Steve Wills from Pinky's Gym. He stands at 178 centimetres and weighs in at 69.68 kilograms. He has a record of 6 fights with 1 win, hailing from Ipswich, Queensland, but fighting out of Perth, Western Australia. Ladies and gentlemen, this is Mitchell Arnold.
All right, and here we go, ladies and gentlemen, our fight number 1 of the pro card. And there's a bit of animosity in the ring already, Billy. I don't know, what do you think? There seems to be a bit of a stare down.
Yeah, Dan just pointed out that the corner of Mitch Arnold, he
Yeah.
needed to put it on him, come out fast.
Yep.
Get in his face, make him feel uncomfortable.
Yep.
Naturally, because Tyson's debut today, so
Already different look from Mitchell Arnold. With Tyson, sorry, switching up the stand, starting off in southpaw, going back to regular. Oh, he's going back to southpaw
again
as well, giving him different looks.
What do we got, Tyson? He's looks like his favourite fighter is Floyd Mayweather. He's got the pink boots. He's switching stance. Might give us a bit of an insight into his fight style here already.
yeah, I've done plenty of work with Tyson.
Yep.
Used to train with him when I was based here over in Perth. He always
good
likes to
timing.
switch. Technically very sound.
Yep.
Hasn't had as many fights as his skills would suggest.
Yep. He's only 4 and 4 as an amateur, and his first professional fight here tonight.
Yeah, so I think he's moving on a bit in age. So he wanted to get in there, get a few pro fights under his belt.
I'll tell you, he landed a beautiful cross off that jab there.
I like he's being patient. He knows this is his first round, and hopefully we see a bit of a building block process. Starts adding on, just finding the jab, getting his range. Don't look for big shots a little too early.
I'm actually going to have to, even though it's early days, I'm going to have to agree with you there and say, considering his fight tally to record, he actually moves and positions really well. Like, it looks like he's fighting well beyond his fight experience.
Yeah, he's been in the gym for a long time. He suffered with a few injuries in the past.
Oh, Mitchell looks like a heavy hitter. Looks like he's trying to get into range. Looks like he can throw some heavy shots.
He's very well grounded. He's got his feet planted into the ground. Look, he's got a very strong torso, so a lot of power comes from them areas.
I think that's a bit of a problem, isn't it, with Tyson switching stances and being able to throw a decent cross from both stances? That's quite problematic, eh? That's hard to defend.
It's hard to read, isn't it?
Really hard to read, yeah.
Mitchell's copped a few on the chin already. He's got a strong chin on him, that's for sure.
Yeah, he looks tough.
But he doesn't want to take too many of them as the fight goes on.
Mitchell does look like he's trying to invest in the body early.
Yeah, yep. Both boys in supreme shape here for fight number 1 on this pro card. Ooh. And as we've seen tonight, from the amateur card, you can have a lot of good boxing, but one well-timed punch in the right spot and it can be lights out.
Especially these, pro gloves, smaller gloves, designed to hurt people.
Yep.
You got to be more defensively minded.
Yep.
I like towards the end of that round, Tyson looked like he was looking to just place some jabs. I would have preferred if he came out trying to find his range early on instead of switching back and forth, because now he's trying to find range as a southpaw and as an orthodox.
Yes, definitely. But look at these highlights. Dan, what are you seeing from that first round and these highlights here? What did you see? What did you notice?
Yeah, what I noticed is the pink shoes.
The pink shoes.
Dean, yeah, it's distracting me a little bit.
The dancing Dean, and he's the dancer. He's got the pink shoes. But I tell you, it was his bit of his timing and his pace, and he was just sort of setting things up nicely, wasn't he?
Yeah, I really liked the different looks that Tyson was giving Mitchell, and he did land some clean shots on his chin as well.
I might have to give a quick shout out. We've got Vince Pergolotti in the centre ring there as a referee, and you know what's great about the boxing community in WA is everyone supports everyone else. Vince being a coach as well, his daughter Lakeisha, absolute phenomenal talent. So give a bit of a shout out to Lakeisha Pergolotti as well. I saw her at the weigh-in last night, and yeah, absolute talent in WA as well coming up.
Just returned from overseas. I think she competed over in Finland and returned with the gold.
Oh, excellent.
Which is great to see.
Well done, Lakeisha.
See how Mitch Arnold's, once again, it looks like he's trying to invest in that body.
Yeah, he is, isn't he? He's really trying to get him, really trying to dig heavy shots in.
Looks very stiff Mitch, which, you know, he's going to have a lot of impact on his shots.
It's not your typical boxing style, but it's very heavy when it lands, isn't it? Oh, beautiful double cross there. And that's from that unorthodox stance as well. And oh wow, I like that. He's done a rear hook into a lead stance jab. Switching stance mid punch.
Yeah, that'll start wearing every time there's jab lands for Tyson, they'll start wearing Mitchell's cardio down as the fight goes on.
Yep.
Might see start marking up on the face, a bit swelling under the eyes.
And it's a game of accumulation too, isn't it? It's not just those big punches. Like that jab will wear you down over a few rounds.
Yeah, I got that big shot. My debut fight in boxing, all the little shots added up, and I never felt so exhausted coming into the 4th and 5th rounds.
I think what Tyson needs to be a little bit wary of here is coming back in a straight line.
Yes.
Mitch is charging in, he comes in on straight lines.
And you look at the way he punches very straight, doesn't he?
He's coming straight down.
Look at that, yeah, straight down the tracks. What would you like to see from Tyson? Is what, a little bit of side movement or angling off after he punches?
If he is going to take a couple backward steps, no more than 2, and then look for your exits, off to the left, off to the right, and look to reset.
And this would be, I think, for Mitchell and Mitchell's corner, be maybe throwing more than 2 or 3 punches. Throw the 4th, 5th, and 6th ones coming forward, they may land.
Then you're going to start positioning Tyson in places that Mitchell wants, nearer the ropes, where you can pin him down, hold him in one spot, and then go to work.
He's definitely, posing some problems for Mitchell with that switching of stances, Tyson. He's doing really well with that. And because he's throwing the jab from both sides. And I always thought, some fighters like to switch. And I think it's okay as long as you can defend well from both positions, correct?
That's it, you've got to do everything back to front now. It's no good just being able to switch, going left to right or southpaw to orthodox.
Yeah.
You've got to be able to defend yourself too.
Yep.
You don't be putting yourself in a compromised position.
Oh, so a good second round. Good second round. Here we go. Let's have a look at these replay for this round.
So I like Mitchell there. It looked like he's trying to take his head off the line and return something. Didn't land, but I can see the idea, the full process behind it.
The idea is there, and he's definitely got the power behind him to do some damage if that was to work. It's just going to be getting him in the right distance.
The boys at Pinky's Gym giving Mitchell some stern words in the corner.
Got the cold press on the face, trying to reduce some of that swelling.
Joel Lewis revving him up.
Yep. And by the looks of that too, telling him to throw some more punches, like let the combinations go. Ones and twos, I don't think will do it against Tyson with that sort of movement and switching stance style. You've got to throw more than 1 or 2 punches.
Yeah, I agree.
Interesting to see what kind of adjustments Mitchell will make. Potentially it could be 2 rounds down here. If it's a 4-round fight, you got to make up for lost time.
Yep. This one is 4-round fight, 4 threes.
Mitchell just hunting that body.
So we're halfway through this match, round 3 or 4 here. Looking at the styles of the guys, how do you, and you don't want to predict things, but how do you see it playing out, Billy? Like what do you see coming up in the rest of this round for these guys?
Well, I believe
Mitchell's standing and throwing on more straight, isn't he?
Yeah, Mitchell has definitely come alive in this third round here. I think he realises, hey, look, we could potentially be down here.
Yeah.
And he's definitely kicked into high gear now.
Yep.
Tyson is holding his feet a little too long, personally, for what I think.
Yeah, staying too long in that straight line.
In that pocket, yeah, definitely.
Yep. There, he's getting a little bit of footwork movement there, is Tyson, and I think that's what you mean is he's got to land, but then move his feet, not be that nice straight line for Mitchell to throw those punches.
I'd probably want to see a bit more tempo change with Tyson. Every punch seems a bit too pity-patty.
Yeah.
You know, I want to see a bit of mix up with the power where you snap a bit of power in, sit down on the shots and let them punches go.
And it also almost looks like Mitchell's happy enough to stay in there now with Tyson, like he's got the timing and he's okay to throw with it.
Maybe he's came to terms with, you know what, these punches aren't hard enough to get me away. I'm fine with getting caught with these.
Yeah.
I can get caught with 2 or 3 as long as I can get my big hard one off.
Yep. All right. Dan, are you seeing any fatigue from Tyson, or what are you seeing on his on him with that change in his sort of pace almost?
I think Tyson's keeping a pretty steady pace, similar to what he did in round 1 and round 2. I think he's pretty comfortable in there.
Yep.
The game plan seems to be working for him. I do think he's edged out the first couple of rounds, so
yep.
I think he's just keeping that same game plan. I think Mitchell's just got to find a different tactic and try some other things.
Yeah, I think we need to get Tyson back onto that jab now.
Yeah.
Re-establish that jab. He's letting Mitch Arnold close the gap, work away.
Yeah, use that lead hand. Like you said, he did really well in the first 2 rounds, and it's just keeping that going for him.
Seems to be putting a couple punches together quite nicely here, though.
Yeah, good finish to the round. And it's funny, you know, I've had fights too where I just know, like, you got to try and steal that round from the judges in that last 10 seconds, especially if it's really close. If you're up and you know you're up, cool, you might play it safe. But if it's a close fight, you've really got to try and steal it from the judges in those rounds.
Right, you know, maybe not for this fight, but a good example is you bank enough rounds up and then you got to know when to push away from the table.
Yes.
No, not overstay your welcome.
Mitchell started that round well, but then I felt Tyson sort of towards the end of the round got his rhythm back, maybe got behind that jab a bit better and got his distance again.
Maybe felt like he left the round a little too close, so picked up a gear towards the end. Like I said, trying to steal that round back.
Oh, the crowd is getting into this one. 4th round. I think they've got a few fans here in the audience. Mitchell just pouring her punches on at the moment.
Oh, Mitchell
forcing this fight, forcing it ahead.
That's what we want to see. Feels is probably a little bit down, so he's just going to come at him.
Yep.
Give him everything. Fight with a bit of desperation. Strong, hey?
Yeah, very strong. And you know, Tyson did well. He weathered that storm well, moved back into boxing range and got a few, and he's got his jab going, got his punches going. Look at that. He's done well to sort of deal with that barrage from Mitchell.
Still investing in that body, isn't he?
Yep, he is, yeah. And I mean, I would still work the body in a 4-round fight, but I'd probably be inclined to make sure my volume is good through the whole 4 rounds because it goes quick. You don't realize you're in the emotion of the fight and you're trying to get there and get things going, and you know, you can lose one round in the fight really makes a difference in a 4-round fight.
It's not too dissimilar from an amateur fight.
No, definitely not. Oh. And it could be a thing where he's trying to dig that body to open up a headshot too.
Arnold's corners. Arnold's corner calling for him to push Tyson back. Beautiful boxing from Tyson this round. He's picking that hook. Look at that hook. Picking his shots really well. And that's what's going to make it easy for the judges to give you the rounds.
Yep.
Nice, clean boxing, easy on the eyes.
Yep.
Tyson just wants to stay right in the middle, square with Mitchell, hey?
Yeah.
Doesn't want to angle off, just wants to be square every time he throws those punches.
Yet to see Tyson do any dancing, though.
Yeah. He's actually boxed quite well. Like we're saying boxing, but he hasn't danced so much. He's actually fought well range.
Big clip hook there.
Beautiful switching the stance there.
I tell you, it's a decent weapon to be able to switch stances that good with those hooks and then continue to box in stance after you've landed the hook.
I'd like to see him switch the stance a bit and like sit into it more to get a bit more power into him.
Yep.
Good body shot there from Arnold.
Final 30 seconds, ladies and gentlemen. Let's make
If I was to
some
add
noise.
anything to Arnold's game, it would be coming behind the jab. Close that distance with the jab.
The winner of the opening bout here at Pathway Boxing.
Mike's on the way. Here we go. Look at this. 10 seconds to go. Mitchell's on his way. Look, he's trying to get in. He's trying to get his last few shots on.
Mitchell's going for it. Trying to get that big shot.
Oh, there we go. That's the end of that
Final
one.
round. Let's hear it for both fighters.
Well-fought round by both guys. I really like Tyson's boxing in that fight.
Yeah, I felt like all those different looks he was giving to him, just making it difficult for Mitchell to get sort of a rhythm onto Tyson. You can see in the replays.
That's it here. See him here, southpaw, switch to an orthodox, drops the left hook. And it's just hard to read from Mitch Arnold, you know, he's coming on a straight line and you got a boy cutting shapes in front of you. Beautiful lead handwork there. I feel like if you're in Tyson's corner, you'd be very pleased with that being your debut. A good building block.
Yep.
Got your rounds in. Some stuff to take away from, things to work on in the gym.
That's it. A great performance to have for your debut fight.
And for Mitch Arnold, very durable. He came to fight.
So ladies and gentlemen, back home, there you have it, the first fight of the RAC Arena. Pathway Boxing. Congratulations to both these boys. I'll just throw it over to CJ.
Bout one of the evening here at Pathway Boxing. 4 rounds of action in the Super Welterweight division, proudly brought to you by Everlast. Now we turn to the judges for their decision. Ladies and gentlemen, your winner by unanimous points, the red corner, Tyson Andrews.
There we have it. Tyson Andrews with his professional debut, winning on a points decision. What did you see in that, Dan?
Yeah, I think it's a pretty convincing win by Tyson. You know, edging every round was, he just outpointed him. Seeing the replay here, got some good shots on the chin. Good chin on Mitchell, I'll give him that. Took some big shots.
Very durable, very durable.
Fighter's fighter. But yeah, well done to Tyson. Great debut he's had right here in the RAC Arena in Perth. Atmosphere is picking up. So ladies and gentlemen, stay tuned. We've got some big fights coming up.
Chuck over to Daniel Dawson now on the mic.
All right. Pathway Boxing Promotions, our first ever boxing promotion event here tonight. The first pro card of the night. Tyson Andrews, your winner. Tyson, mate, firstly, who would you like to thank for this one?
First off, I'd like to thank the promoters for putting on such an amazing event. Look at this, RAC Arena for the first show for Pathway. Huge. And second of all, I want to thank all my sponsors. I wouldn't be here without them, so that's all them in the back. Thank you, everyone. Thanks to the crowd for coming out too. It's good. I like it.
Mate, RAC Arena, the crowd is packed. Everyone's in here. Everyone is loving this at Pathway Boxing. everyone at home, we're on the commentary team there. You've been having a treat today with the boxing. Now, in that fight, you dealt with a bit of adversity. Tell us a little bit about what happened.
That guy's got a hard head. And I think I've broken my hand on his head, but we just adapted, adjusted, swapped stance a little bit to disguise it, and just kept fighting through.
Beautiful, and we can see that on the commentary. We were saying like the way you were switching stances, and obviously with that hand being a bit as it was, you had to switch and move and hit with different things, give different looks. Mate, I tell you what, that got you the win tonight. Anything else you'd like to say?
Nothing, just thanks to the crowd for coming out. I could hear you all loud, sang my song. Love you all, thank you.
Let's go WA! Oh!